So I had heard about Sorry to Bother You right after it came out a couple of years ago in 2018, to be more specific. And the debut film from director Boots Riley got a lot of critical acclaim at the time. I didn't really know what it was all about. I hadn't really heard from anybody directly who had seen the film, but I heard all the press, read some of the reviews, and heard that it was kind of this like weird, trippy black comedy. And then I saw the movie. Finally decided to watch it. A buddy of mine had seen it and was like adamant that I watch this film and wanted to know what I thought. So you're about to find out what I thought of this movie. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Before we get started, click on that red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know every time I post a new piece of content. This is actually the 100th video I've done, and to everyone who's watched my videos, thank you so much. If you like them, share them. If not, that's cool too. Okay, so Sorry to Bother You. I just have to kind of describe the movie, and then I'm going to talk about what I really love about this, because I think this is a fantastic film. It's about maybe like a late 20s, mid 30s, early 30s, black man played by Lakeith Stanfield, and he gets a job at like a dumpy telemarketing office, and his girlfriend Tessa Thompson, is played by Tessa Thompson, is like this artist. His uncle Terry Crews is like behind on his mortgage payments and is going to get evicted if he doesn't pay off the bank or whoever. And his best friend works for this marketing firm. They all like work together at this. They all end up working together doing this telemarketing stuff. And his goal is to become what's called a power caller and move up into like this top floor where everyone like walks around in expensive suits. And it's not really like clear what exactly the people on that floor do, but they all drive they all drive Maseratis and wear just like ridiculously expensive clothing. And so that's like his goal, right? To go from this like do nothing kid essentially who's a bit of a mess into like stepping up into the wealthy elite. This movie deals with class issues like labor strife, unions. You're going to hear talk about crossing picket lines and scabs. These are all very like business specific things regarding labor unions. And that stuff is kind of window dressing for the dark comedy that this film really doesn't hesitate to embrace. And Armie Hammer plays Steve Lift, who's like the head of this massive conglomerate like corporation that basically has like essentially it's like slave labor. But it's all dressed up with like this very like warm and fuzzy propaganda. And so he's like kind of like the billionaire entrepreneur type, a little stereotypical. And it just follows the character's journey through this life and his goal to become something more. And lead character's name is Cassius. He goes by Cash Green, and Cash's story is really, really, really funny. It's got parts where it's like super duper heartfelt and meaningful. And then the movie hits the third act. And that's where everything easily could have derailed. And it gets very, very weird. And I don't want to spoil anything because there's something really magical about this movie. And this isn't for everybody. I'll preface this by saying this is not for everybody. This is the kind of trippy balls out nonsense that I adore. I love shit like this. This is right in my wheelhouse. I could watch movies like this until I turn blue and keel over dead. I love this type of strange, super dark, energetic comedy that isn't afraid to do crazy stuff. Director Boots Riley, who I believe this is his debut film, just so confident. This is he knows exactly what he's doing, despite being, relatively new to filmmaking at this part of his career. This is really phenomenal stuff. So much confidence, and a willingness to take chances and do stuff that ultimately may or may not land depending on the audience. But I really do adore this movie. The hard turn that it takes in the third act is phenomenal. Armie Hammer's character has his like moment to shine in the back half of the movie, and all of that stuff is just wonderful. So, really, if you like comedies, if you specifically like dark comedies, and if you like movies that are confidently made and bold and unafraid, I would take a hard look at Sorry to Bother You, because this is really, really good stuff. And check it out. It's from a couple years ago, but it is awesome. Thank you so much for checking out the review. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please consider subscribing. You can also like and share the video. That tells YouTube it's worth promoting. Sound off down in the comments. I know it's a couple years old, but let me know what you think of this movie, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.